Hi everybody, my name is Mrs. McGovern and I'm going to be reading you the story called This Is Just to Say. It is compiled by Joyce Sidman, but basically it's the story of a classroom full of sixth graders who decided to write apology letters. And then the teacher decided to allow the people they were writing to respond. So in this book you're going to find part 1 and part 2. Part 1 are the apology letters that her sixth graders are writing, and part 2 is the response. So I'm going to go ahead and start now. Part 1 is called Apologies. To Mrs. Garcia in the office, this is just to say, I have stolen the jelly donuts that were in the teacher's lounge, and which you're probably saving for teachers. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so gloppy. Too bad the powdered sugar spilled over my shirt and gave me away. This is to the statue of Florence. Lucky Nose, it's titled. I am very sorry for assaulting your nose before every spelling test. When I first came here, I noticed you right away, your kind eyes, your stiff hair rolled in a ball, like my grandmother's. Your nose looks so strange and magnificent. I asked my Lee about it. Pale and smooth from 1,000 rubbings, she said. Before that first spelling test, it felt like a cool stone under my hand, calming me. In 100 years, your nose may be worn down to nothing. I'm so very sorry. But think of all the children, again and again, to whom you gave the cool stone of luck. From Balvang. To Kyle, I got carried away. Kyle, I'm sorry for hitting you so hard in dodgeball. I just really got carried away. In situations like that, kids screaming and ducking, coach bellowing, and all those red balls thumping like heartbeats against the walls and ceiling, blinking back and forth like stoplights that really mean go, go, go. See, I even got carried away in this poem by Reuben. To Reuben. Dodgeball, crazy. Sorry, Rubes, for belting you as hard as I could in dodgeball. I'd like to say I wouldn't do it again, but I'd be lying. By Kyle. This one says to my mom, and it's titled Brownies. Oops. I smelled them from my room, a wafting wave of chocolateness. I listened for movement, ears pricked like bats. I crept down, stepped over the sleeping dog. I felt the cold linoleum on my bare toes. I saw the warm, thick brick of brownies. I slashed a huge chunk right out of the middle. The gooey hunks of chocolate winked at me as I gobbled them. Afterward, the pan gaped like an accusing eye. My head said, oops. My stomach said, heavenly. That's from Maria. And that's also page 14. And so 14, they will ask you about that in the pair deck, one of the questions. They'll ask you about Thomas and Balvang and Reuben and Carmen, and they'll ask you basically what you think so far, maybe what character you like the best and why. So be listening because they're going to ask you that. This next one's titled The Black Spot. To my sister Carrie, that spot on your palm never goes away. So long ago I can hardly remember. I stabbed you with a pencil. Part of the lead there, still inside you. And inside me too, something small and black hidden away. I don't know what to call it. The nugget of darkness that made me stab you never goes away. Both marks still there. Small black reminders. By Alyssa. This one's called Balance, and it's to my dad. Dad, I'm sorry for smashing the garage window when I was a kid. Philippe and I were messing around and saw the cracked pane. One had a crack, so they should all have a crack, right? That's what Philippe said. We hefted some rocks. Then one pane had a jagged hole. But they all had to match, right? Philippe said we should balance them out. I remember the weight of the gritty rocks, the shiver of the tinkling glass, and the wild joy booming in my chest, the fear, the running away. For a while it seemed like the bravest thing I'd ever done. Now I realize Philippe was stupid to make up a reason for smashing things, and I was even more stupid to follow him. By Jose. The next one is Sparkling Beer. To my mother. Mom, I'm sorry for breaking your precious glass deer all those years ago. The scent of Christmas was in the air, and your little scene drew me like a magnet. The deer's slim pink legs and arching neck. I could almost feel the smooth, delicate surface. In my head, I heard you say, "Don't touch." But my fingers had a mind of their own. I plucked it from the rough cotton snow by its tiny little antlers. Then it dropped. Later, when I heard you crying, I felt small. Please forgive me. This one's called Not Really, and it's to Maria. I'm sorry I bumped your books that day and scattered them all over the floor, but not really. I'm sorry your locker mirror disappeared and mysteriously ended up on my desk, but not really. I'm sorry I pulled that clip out of your hair and you had to chase me down the hall, but not really. I'm sorry I made you yell at me till your face got red and your eyes sparkled, but not really. I'm sorry you keep saying you won't go out with me. Really. By Bobby. To Manga, my hamster. I wish I could set you free, like the day you escaped and ran all over the house. That was an amazing day. My mother screamed, my sister cried, all because you were loose, somewhere, burrowing through the pillows and toys. When Mom finally found you, huddled in a mop bucket, and you bit her, you looked so fierce, like your wild cousins that roamed the jungles of Asia. I wish I had jungles to give you. I wish that could be your life. Please forgive me. All I have to offer is this warm, cozy cage and my fingers scratching behind your ears. By Ricky. The next one's called It Was Quiet, and it's to Einstein, my dog. It was quiet. No machines beeped. You looked like you were sleeping. Your nose was still wet. Your ears were still silky. But inside, something was crumbling. It's not sleep, it's a coma, Baba said. Harsh voice in such a quiet room. We have to make a decision. I did not want to do anything. I wanted to stay quiet with the feel of your fur. But inside, all my cells and nerves were screaming. Heads nodded, the decision was made. He did not move, he did not shudder, yet he left you. I'm so sorry we had to do this. We wanted to save you some pain. I really hope we did the right thing. Is death ever right? I don't know, but I hated having to choose it. And I hate the quiet in the house without you. And that's to Einstein, his dog. Secret message to my brother Lamar. Where would you hide a secret message? Under your pillow? In a pocket? Between two slices of bread? Where would you hide a message that wants to be found? Maybe it shouldn't be found. Maybe writing it is most important. What happens after that doesn't even matter. Well, big brother, here's my secret message. I'm sorry I'm such a weird kid, and I'm sorry I embarrassed you. I'm hiding in here under the seat in your car. I wonder if you will ever find it. This one's called Spelling Bomb. It's to my mother. I can't believe I lost. I know I disappointed you. Do you really think that I don't care? I know how important it is to win. I know I disappointed you. I saw it on your face when I misspelled. I know how important it is to win. I studied hours and hours. I saw it in your face when I misspelled. I saw you turn away from me. Even though I studied hours and hours, I never seemed to be your champion. I saw you turn away from me, and in that moment, would have given anything to be your champion. To see your bright, triumphant pride. In this moment, I would give anything. Do you really think I don't care? For your bright, triumphant pride, which I can't believe I lost. That one's from Anthony. This one is titled A Waste of Heart, and there's nobody it's really directed to. I'm sorry for loving you because you never noticed me. I'm sorry I stare at you with so much in class trying to figure out what's on your mind. I'm sorry for taking the time in the morning with my hair. Sorry for trying on 6 shirts to find one that might make you say, hey girl, you look fine. Because you never say it. I'm sorry because I know I'm wasting my heart on you. Yeah, I'm sorry for loving you. Sorry that I think I'm going to stop. And that one's by a girl named Renisha. And this one I know is going to be mentioned in the Pear Deck. This is page 24. And it's to Bao Bang, and it says, what was I thinking? Wow, am I really in the principal's office? She's bigger than I thought. Is that gray hair on her neck? Her dress is the color of ripe plums. She's asking me so many questions. I have such a bad feeling in my stomach. Bao Bang is my best friend. She's always laughing. She's always laughing when she hit the fire alarm. It was an accident. She was just fooling around. The principal's eyes are like hot sparks. My parents will be so angry. They will yell and yell. My mouth is opening. I'm blabbing about Bao Bang and the fire alarm. I can't believe this is happening. The principal sends me away. I slink out like a whipped dog. Bao Bang, my best friend. I told on her. Then I pretended I hadn't. Will she ever forgive me? By my Lee. This next one is called Next Time, and it's to my dad. You went away and left me. It's not the first time. The first time you left because I cried too much. Screaming baby, wah, wah, wah. The second time it was because I messed up at school. Your daughter is acting out. The third time I came home early and saw, well, forget it. You told me, so I did. You see, I'm keeping track. What did I do this time? Is it the way I'm dressing these days, or the way I laugh too loud? Whatever it is, I can fix it. Please, please come back. Don't leave me spinning alone like a slow, sad tornado. I'm sorry, Daddy. Next time, I'll be perfect. That one's by Jewel. This one's called How Slow-Hand Lizard Died. It's to the class. I stole him, took him home in my pocket, felt the pulse beating in his soft green neck. Had no place good to put him. A shoebox? He got cold, I think. Watched his life wink out, his bright eye turn to mud. Brought him back, stiff as an old glove. Hid him in the bottom of the cage. Left money on Mrs. Mert's desk. I stole that too. Won't touch the new lizard. Don't like to touch money either. That one's by an anonymous 6th grader. Now, that was part 1, and those are all the apology letters. Now is part 2, and it's titled The Responses. So this is to Thomas. Dear Thomas, thank you for your poem. You do have a way with you. Smiling, ask me how I'm doing, talking a mile a minute, slipping in and out. Yes, I see you. Stealing our hearts and apparently our donuts too. A nice boy like you can really get a long way in this world if he doesn't let his fingers run away with it. Of course I forgive you, but I do still have to call your mother. That's by Miss Garcia in The Office. That's about Thomas who took the teacher's donuts. And this is to Bao Vang from The Statue. To the girl who rubs my nose. I was a child like you. I used to run, I used to play. Now I'm old and cold and frozen on this pedestal. I see a lot from up here. Children laughing, crying, fighting, holding hands. I have lots of time to think. I think maybe spelling isn't so important. I think friends are important. I think kindness is important. I think a gentle touch means a lot. So, come rub my nose again. Come warm me up a little. That was by Duran, and Duran was writing for the statue. This one is to Kyle and Ruben. They were the kids that kind of got caught up in the dodgeball fiasco. Dodgeball Kings, this is titled. This is Kyle's. We're Dodgeball Kings. We like to zing, Dodgeball Kings. As though it's our last, like a catapult, each ball flings. A setting sun, we fire. We mark each other out. Zing, bam, sting. We're Dodgeball Kings. This is from Ruben. Dodgeball Kings, we rule the gym. Each other, Dodgeball Kings. With all of our might we fling a cherry bomb, a blazing ring, through the air. We mark each other out. Zing, bam, sting. It hurts, but we don't care. We're Dodgeball Kings. The next one is a haiku for Carmen. Just these few warm words, and spring sunlight fills the room. My dress turns to sky. And if you remember right, Carmen was the one who kind of made fun of Miss Mertz's dress. made all the kids laugh. This is desk mess. Oops. The house was quiet, so empty and still. Your door was open, so I peeked in. Piles of paper, any which way, dust thick as velvet. My fingers itched to straighten, clean, and organize. I didn't mean to read anything. The note from Bobby was an accident. Afterward, the corner of the room looked so different from the rest, an island of neatness in an ocean of mess. My conscience said, oops, but my eyes said, heavenly. This next one's to Alyssa. That's the girl who unfortunately stabbed her sister's hand with a pencil. It says, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm still really upset with you. That's by Carrie. Apparently she's still not mad about having that she's still mad about having that piece of lead in her hand. This one's from Jose's dad. It says, I'm telling you now. That's the title of it. Son, I keep telling you I couldn't write a poem, and you kept saying, just write down a list of how you feel and break it into shorter lines like we do at school. And I keep thinking, I did lousy in school. Every single year, almost, I barely made it through. I never told you that. Always on you to work harder, and even though I barely tried, always messing around like I knew better, but just scared because it didn't come natural for me, like for some. And now, here you are, keeping up with the smart kids and writing poetry. And even getting your old man to write all these lines down. I want to say what a feeling I have. I am proud. Real proud of you. I couldn't be any prouder. And somehow I've written this poem. If you could call it that and forget about the window, because it's ancient history. Do you remember the teacher, actually, Little Ruth, and how she had crushed her mom's ornament? Here's her mom's response. It's called, For Little Ruth. Why are you so sorry, my little Ruth? The deer is perched happily on its crust of snow. It cannot leap anymore, but it is still happy, almost as happy as the day it was made. I watched the big eyes as it grew in the glass blower's hands, like a piece of crystal taffy. You were a boisterous child. I cried the day I got your poem, not because I was sorry, or because you should be sorry for any of that. No, I cried because you were little, and now you're not. Come visit me soon, will you? That's from her mom. This is to Bobby. What Girls Want is the title. Girls want a lion with a shaggy mane. Girls want a horse fast and sure. Girls want a coyote that sings with its heart. Girls want an eagle soaring through mountain. Girls want a breeze that whispers its name. Girls want a snowfall that makes the world new. Girls want a dog that wags all over. Girls want a cat that purrs to the moon. Girls want a hedgehog that carries its own armor, but doesn't always use it. Just to let you know. That was by Maria. Sorry back from the hamster. I'm sorry I bit your mom's finger and hung on to it like that. Hamsters are not normally bloodthirsty, but I'd had a lot of adventures by then and I was tired. Her hand was a huge scary claw coming at me. The blood tasted like rust. The truth is, at first, I was so happy to be free, but later, I was so glad to be back, curled in the warm palm of your hand. That was by Ricky the Hamster. Oops. Losing Einstein. I had to do the same with my Shasha not long ago. No one can tell you what it's like until it happens. No one can see those trusting eyes. Dogs are different from us. They don't think so much. They just feel like crazy. They love you if you treat them right and fear you if you don't. They can handle pain, but they hate being left behind. And when they're old and sick, it's tough. They want to be right there for you. Einstein was right there for you, even if his eyes weren't open. He was smelling you, feeling your touch. You were loving him, and he was loving you back. That's how it went. And that's how a dog should go. And the custodian wrote that to the student who was apologizing to the dog. And here's one to Duran from his little brother. Little brother, you are one weird kid, hiding stuff under my seat. Why you gotta hide stuff like that? Life should be lived extra large. Look at me. I'm as large as I can be. I know when I got to stand and when I gotta run. But I've been thinking a little bit about you. You got your own stuff I don't have. You got sticky shoes. They stay on the ground. You got brains that worked all the time, not just some. You got that curly hair of Mama's. You don't remember, but I do. You got that smile, that sweet smile that's never seen badness yet. Keep all that stuff. Keep it. Hold it tight. Hold it, little brother. You hear? You're going to need all that stuff. Well, maybe not the smile. You can get rid of that. Or you'll end up on the street under somebody's wheel. But the other stuff, don't let it beat you. Stay strong. I will be showing you that anyways. Showing you how to live extra large. Extra large like me. This is to Anthony. It's called Some Reasons Why. Why must we work so hard and always be the best? Parents say hard work builds character. I say too much hard work means no laughter. Parents say only the best get ahead. I say everyone's good at something. Parents say daydreaming is just an excuse for laziness. I say they just never learned how to write a poem. And that's Anthony writing for his mother who was being ridiculous. To Renisha, the dark-haired girl. Renisha, dark-haired girl with flashing eyes. Renisha, long legs pounding down the track. Renisha, frown that breaks rocks. Laugh that starts tidal waves. Renisha, strong, fierce, loyal. Our Renisha, don't change who you are. This is to Miley, and this is also referenced in the Pear Deck. I'm about to read page 42. The River of Forgiveness. Here I am reading Miley's poem. I am wading into the river of forgiveness, thinking of alarm bells, of breaking glass, of confusion and the fear that crushes your heart when you know you've done something wrong. I feel cold and alone, fighting the water as it pulls at me and fills my eyes. Will I ever make it across? I keep thinking of a friend who helped explain the world, whose arm is always around my shoulder, a friend who stands with me in the crowd. There she is, my friend. On the other side of the river, she's the one looking worried. When I cough and choke, she's the one that jumps in after me. But wait, My feet are touching. I've reached the sandy bank. I've crossed the river of forgiveness. I open my arms to her. By Bao Vang. That's page 42, so remember they're going to ask you about that. It's called My Poem. Daddy wrote back. He was late, but he wrote. He was late, he was sick, he was almost gone for good. But he wrote to me and said, "Dear baby, you are perfect, so perfect. It's me who's not. None of the stupid things I've ever done are even close to being your fault." He says he was at the end of his rope one night. Then he saw my handwriting on an envelope, and it called to him. He said he was going to leave this world, but the poem called him back. He says he's coming back, really coming back to stay if he can. And the first thing he wants to do is he wants me to teach him how to write poems like that. That's what Daddy says. And this time, I think I believe him. This one's too anonymous. You can imagine what it's about with that lizard on there. The way his heart beat in his throat, the way his toes whispered on your hands. His skin, rough green cloth, the color of new leaves. His belly, soft as an old balloon. His tongue, lightning's flicker. The way he left us, the sad way you feel. We forgive you. And those are the apology letters and responses from Miss Mertz's 6th grade class. Hope you enjoyed it.